Hello everyone, welcome to another classic toy review here at Scorched Earth Toys at anymoon.com. Today I'm reviewing Toynami's 155 scale Masterpiece Collection VF-1 toys. These toys came out in 2001, have kind of a sordid history attached to them. You can read more about that on my article on anymoon.com. This is Battroid mode. This is what the toy comes packaged in. You can see right away that it has a lot in common with toys like Takatoku's 155 scale VF-1 and probably more evidently Bandai's 172 scale high complete model toys. It is a sort of amalgamation of those two toys with some very minor tweaks all its own. Let's start off with one of the tweaks, or I guess it's a major tweak that is all of its own, this light up eye. So here, just let's get romantic for a second here. There it is. The eye is alive. Is that worth like 40 bucks to you? Because this toy was overpriced by at least that much. Okay. By the way, batteries sitting in a toy for 10 years can corrode and ruin these toys' ability to light up. So keep that in mind when you're buying these on the secondhand market. Alright, so now you've seen the cool gimmick. Let's get into articulation. There's a shoulder that swings all the way around. The ability to pivot out at the shoulder. Twisting point near the elbow. And then the elbow itself has that range of articulation. Remember, this is 2001. This is before we got fancy VF-1 toys with the double elbow mechanism. You have a ball-jointed wrist, which was pretty big in the day. Articulated fingers, also a pretty big deal. Although they were also on the Bandai High Complete toy. Head spins back and forth. But sometimes the wires from that light-up mechanism actually kind of bunch and make it so the head only has very limited articulation. I see that more with my YF-1R toy that can barely look to the one side. You do have your normal Gerwalk joint. And you can, if you want to get crazy with it, kind of detach the swing bar independently from the left or right swing bar. You also have a knee. Oops. You have a knee joint. Goes that far. And comes back up that far. So, not a huge range of motion. The big improvement over both the High Complete model and the Takatoku is this twist point. And then you have sort of an ankle in that the feet can do this maneuver, which was also on the High Complete model, not on the Takatoku toys. Borrowed from Bandai's 1990 reissue of, well, I don't really remember when they did it, but Bandai included heat shields very similar to this on some of their 155 reissues of the Takatoku toys. So there's something else for you. Alright, I think that pretty much covers Battroid mode from articulation standpoint. As you can tell, not the sturdiest toy, kind of wants to go back and forth. Not the prettiest toy, doesn't really do the greatest job emulating the line art. I will have line art comparisons on anymoon.com. And obviously not the best articulated toy, especially with all the things that have come out since 2001. But let's go ahead and explore Guardian mode. Alright, here is Guardian mode. There's a little hole in the back. There's a piece that is separate. You can plug it in and that becomes your antenna piece. Obviously not a big deal if you did not use that piece, if you're a real stickler for perfect transformation. I've added the missiles on the wings. The missiles would not fit in Battroid mode if you were considering doing that. You do have to remove those missiles. So while this toy does share a lot in common with the High Complete model toy from Bandai, it does not share that in common. What it does share in common with that high complete model toy is the ability to keep the arms at the shoulders perpendicular to the ground. On the Takatoku toys, you have to have this piece angled outward, and that puts your arms on an odd angle right to start with. So that gives the MPC toy a clear advantage over the Bandai reissues of the Takatoku toys that came out around the same time in this mode. The Yamato version 1/160 toys, which was the other competition, also had a lot of problems in this mode because the removable hips kind of jammed together, and it just created some odd issues with the legs. So the winner in this mode was the MPC at that time. Of course, nowadays you have a lot of better options like the Yamato version 2/160 or the Bandai High Metal 1/100 toys. You obviously can move the arms around still. They're in a good position for articulation, and the legs, you can do quite a bit with this toy in this mode. If I was displaying these toys today, it would be in this mode. The gun collapses and can be attached to the arm, which is also the same way you're going to attach this toy, this gun, for fighter mode, which I will get to in a moment. But there you go. So you can stow the gun on the arm as so. Alright, that pretty much covers Guardian mode. Let's go ahead and transform into fighter mode. And finally, we have fighter mode, also known as floppy mess mode, because you can pick it up and it flails apart like that. It has pegs that were meant to hold the legs up, but the legs don't really fit in those pegs. It also has what I think are supposed to be little magnet parts, but all they do is damage the leg underneath. So, just a shining failure of design for Toynami there. The backpack doesn't hinge into anything, so if you flip it upside down, the backpack falls down. I don't know, it's just everything that can go wrong in fighter mode kinda does. You got this weird hump here where the shield slides, or the chest slides. The big swing bars, obviously. It's just not good. Even the hard points on the wings, when you attach the missiles to them, there's only certain positions they seem to want to stay in, so that's no fun. Look at the head lasers drooping down on me. They don't really want to stay up. You do get landing gears that stay in place relatively well. You also get an opening cockpit with a removable pilot figure. The pilot figure itself is a bit of a pain in the butt to get in and out. Obviously those landing gears are integrated into the toy, so that's cool. Not quite anime accurate doors, but you know, for the time, pretty decent. You don't have removable intake covers, anything like that. But you didn't really see those in toys until well after the Toynami's heyday. So, in conclusion, at the time when this toy came out, buyers had their choice between the Bandai 2002 reissues, these Toynami MPCs, and the Yamato version 1/160 toys. It really was a lesser of evils factor. If you wanted the most accurate portrayal, particularly in fighter mode, the Yamatos were the way to go. If you were offended by parts formation, you wanted either the Bandai reissues or the Toynamis. Bandai reissues were a lot sturdier toy and decent in their own rights. The Toynamis did have some articulation benefits as shown in Battroid mode, but really it was just a toss-up of mediocre toys. Fortunately, Yamato since then has really stepped up their game. They released some very good VF-1 toys. Toynami even went on with their 1/100 toys to make something I think is a little better than this toy, although still leaves a lot to be desired. If you visit anymoon.com, you'll see line art comparisons. You'll see comparisons to other toys, including lots of comparisons to the Bandai High Complete toy, which this toy clearly borrows heavily from. Thanks for viewing.